You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode number 6 in our Do Both Method series. And today we're talking about one of the most important and practical parts of really mastering your money, and that is having a system for your money that works for you in the background. Now, if you've missed the earlier episodes, go back and listen to episode 146 through 150, where I covered the first 4 pillars of the Do Both framework. And that is vision, having a vision for what you want your life to be like, knowing what you want. The second pillar is all about values-based spending. So we really uncovered what that means. The next, we talked about emotional money management, because this is the thing that a lot of us really get tripped up on, right? We self-sabotage because when we're bored, when we're sad, when we're frustrated, when we're stressed, we spend, and that sabotages all of our goals and efforts that we've put in. And then the final piece we covered, which was last week, we looked at the 5 core areas of money that you must master in order to really build wealth. Now, each one of those pillars build upon the other. And this one, I believe it's the one that makes everything else possible. It's the one that makes them all stick together. And that is having a simple system for your money. Because here's the thing, it's not enough just to have a budget or a spending plan. You actually need a system that supports you, especially when life gets busy, when you're tired, or when motivation fades. So we're going to walk through what a simple money system is, why it matters, and the 3 core reasons why it's literally a non-negotiable if you want to build wealth and enjoy your life at the same time. I know that was a very matter-of-fact statement, but I mean it. This is one of the most impactful tools I've ever used. It helped me pay off over $200,000 in debt and build a multiple 6-figure net worth that is very close to $1 million. And it's something that I teach every single one of my private clients. And with that, my clients are doing amazing things. I have one who has just paid off $11,000 in debt. Another one has saved $5,000 in just 2 months. And then I have another one who is very, very passionate about travel, but it was one of the reasons why she kept going back into credit card debt. And so she took multiple trips this past year and did not go into debt to do so. That's what happens when you stop relying on motivation and start relying on systems. So by the end of this episode, you'll understand what a simple money system really is and the 3 key reasons why it matters so much. And once I share these 3 reasons with you, you'll finally understand why it's been so hard to stick to a budget, a spending plan, or any other kind of financial routine. Because really, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's psychology. It's just the way your brain is wired. Most of us are trying to manage our money in ways that actually go against how our brains naturally work. We try to use willpower, we try to push our way through, we make too many decisions on the fly, and we leave everything up to how we feel in the moment. And honestly, that's exhausting. But when you understand the psychology behind money management and build a system that actually works with your brain instead of against it, you'll stop fighting yourself. You finally will create consistency. Not because you're trying harder or using more effort or have become more disciplined. It will be because you have a system in place that's doing the heavy lifting for you. So first, let's go ahead and talk about what a simple money system is and why it matters. A simple system for your money, or a simple money system, is what removes willpower from your finances. For me, this is how I handle my money. I have 3 bank accounts. For some of you, you might want to have 4. So some of my clients, they have 4, but for me, I have 3. And just for clarity, we're not talking about investment accounts right now. We're just talking about bank accounts. So again, for me, I have 3. One is for bills and household expenses. The other one is for spending. And then the final one is for savings. And I highly recommend a high yield savings account for your savings. That's it. It's that simple. It's something that is very sustainable, something that you can maintain without burning out from a bunch of tracking and complicated spreadsheets or apps. It literally is that simple. It's not easy for everyone to do, especially on their own, but it's very simple. Here's what happens when you don't have a simple system for your money. You have to keep making decisions over and over again. You have to keep thinking about what you should do next. You have to keep asking yourself, how much am I going to save this month? How much should I put on my debt? Can I afford this new thing or this experience? And every single one of those questions drain your energy and your focus. And that's called decision fatigue. Decision fatigue happens when your brain gets tired of making too many choices, right? So if you do not have this system, one of the consequences is that you're going to get decision fatigue. Every time you have to think through what to do with your money, it chips away at your mental energy. The more decisions you make, the lower the quality of those decisions become. So at the end of a long day, when you're mentally exhausted, you'll do what feels easiest in the moment. Spend, skip savings, don't look at your money. Tell yourself you'll get back to it next month. Here's a non-money example that I think you can relate to. So when you never really sit down at the beginning of the week and just say, okay, what's going to be for dinner this week? When you don't have that plan, what happens? After a long day at work, you don't know what's on the menu. You haven't prepped or planned, right? There's nothing ready to be cooked that's easy and simple. What happens? You end up going through the drive-thru or picking up something from takeout, right? Versus if you sit down maybe on a Sunday and say, okay, Monday, I'm going to cook this, and then that's going to last 2 days. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to cook this. On Thursday, we're going to eat leftovers from Wednesday. And then Friday, we're having pizza or whatever. When you have that sort of plan, the chances of you going through a drive-through when you already know what you're going to eat because you've planned ahead, you're prepared, you have all of the ingredients, and you're ready to go, the chances of you going through that drive-through are a lot slimmer, even though you have the same exact day, right? You're exhausted, but you know that I'm already ready. All I have to do is throw the chicken in the oven, steam the broccoli, and put the rice in the rice cooker, and we're good to go. Like, that's so different than, oh my gosh, what are we going to eat? I don't have anything that's ready. Everything's in the freezer. Of course, you'll go in the drive-through. So this is the power of just sitting down and deciding once at the beginning of the week for food or at the beginning of the month for your money. You make a decision one time, you dedicate that time, and then you just follow through with it. So when you tell yourself that you're going to get back on track, you really do mean it. You really do, right? But without a system in place, the likelihood of you ever getting back on track is slim to none. You'll keep finding yourself in that same cycle month after month because you didn't make decisions ahead of time. You're constantly making decisions, and you get tired of those decisions and you put off making progress until next time. And again, you mean it, but the likelihood of it ever really happening in the future is very slim. So when you have a simple system for your money, you decide once, and automation does the rest. It's like putting your finances on autopilot. Yes, you're still the pilot. You're still in control. But now you have a system doing the heavy lifting for you instead of manually flying every part of the plane yourself. Your money has direction and it knows what it's supposed to do. Everything is set up, ready to go. And so it really doesn't matter what your emotions are because automation is going to just do what you told it to do. And that is a beautiful thing. So the next piece that's really important and something that you really get to overcome when you have a system for your money in place is the need for willpower. Okay? Listen, we all have willpower, but it is very limited. And you've heard me say this on the podcast before. Yes, you can white knuckle your way through a no spend month, but it won't last. Just like you can white knuckle your way through a very restrictive diet. You can promise yourself that you're going to be good with money this week, but by Friday, you're exhausted and you're giving in to the random impulse buys. That's not because you're bad with money. It's simply because you're a human being with a human brain. And when you try to rely on willpower, you're fighting against biology. When you have a system for your money, you actually don't even need to use willpower. You can save it for something else. The system that I'm talking about, the simple money management system, makes your good decisions automatic. You already decide how much to save, how much to spend, and how much to invest. Now, the system, all it has to do is carry it out because you, again, sat down, decided once, and now you don't need willpower. This is what I mean when I say your money should run on autopilot. You shouldn't be constantly managing it. It should be managing itself. The third part of the simple money management system that really is key is this concept of planning ahead and using the right part of your brain. This is where you put your prefrontal cortex, your higher logical brain, in charge of your money. This is the part of your brain that makes wise, long-term decisions. The part that asks, what's good for me now and later, not just what's good for me today in this moment. Without planning ahead, your primitive brain will literally run the show when it comes to your finances. That's the part of your brain that is focused on ease, comfort, and instant gratification. It's the part that says, I deserve this, I'll figure it out later, I'll start again next month. When you plan ahead, you make decisions from your wise self. You're controlling your money instead of being out of control with your money. There is a huge cost to not handling your money this way, and here it is. You'll keep having the best intentions. This is the month I'll save. This is the month I'll stop using my credit cards. But without a plan, your primitive brain will literally hijack all of your good intentions. It will always win in the moment, and you'll feel stuck, frustrated, and very much so inconsistent. So let me say this. This system isn't just about money management. It's about freedom. Because when your money is on autopilot, your mind is free to focus on living. It's free to focus on so many other things like making more money, enjoying time with your family, living life. You stop overthinking every purchase. You stop second guessing every decision. You stop wondering if you can afford something or if you have the money for something. You stop feeling guilty for spending or anxious about saving. And here's the truth. When you don't have this system, you'll keep working hard. You'll keep meaning to get ahead, but you'll stay in the same habit loop. You'll want to save, but won't. You'll want to get out of debt, but you'll keep going deeper into it. You'll want to have financial peace and financial security, but you'll keep living with that low-grade mental money stress. That's the cost of inaction. But when you have this system in place, everything changes. Progress, that just becomes automatic. You build wealth consistently, and before you know it, you'll look up and your savings account is bigger than it's ever been. Your debt will be slashed in half on its way to being paid off. And your investments will be compounding, and that is when real wealth starts to build. So, I know not everyone listening to this podcast is ready to go all in and truly change the way they manage money. But there are some of you who are ready. You've been listening, you've been nodding, you know you're ready to finally stop piecing it together and actually build a system that actually works. You're ready to have support, to have guidance, and to have accountability by your side. Those of you who are ready for all of that, I'm talking directly to you. For those of you who are ready to stop managing money by using willpower, you're ready to finally feel calm, confident every time you log into your accounts, this is your next step. You're invited to book a wealth building strategy consultation with me by going to jermainefoley.com/consult. Again, that's Jermaine with a G, foley.com/consult, or simply click the link in the show notes. During this call, we'll look at where you are financially, where you want to go, and what's preventing you from getting there. And then I'll show you how becoming one of my private coaching clients, how I'll help you solve your biggest money challenges. Because once you have a system that actually works, wealth starts building on autopilot. And that's how you do both. That's how you build wealth and enjoy life at the same time. For those of you who want this, remember, I take on a few new clients every single month. And if you want to be one of those clients, you're invited again to go to jermainefoley.com/consult to book your complimentary session. Or, of course, you can go to the show notes and click the link. All right, I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Hey, if money is the one area of life you just can't seem to figure out, even though you make good money, you're not alone. That's why you're invited to book a complimentary one-to-one money consultation with me so that we can figure out how to solve your biggest money challenges. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/consult or check out the show notes. Hope to meet you soon.